Hello, I'm Hope Logan. I'm an actor on Bold and the Beautiful, and many people really love both me and our Bold and the Beautiful drama. So I've come here to share updates about my beloved Bold and the Beautiful. Everyone, please subscribe and support me. If you do, I will keep coming every day with new updates for you. The battle lines on the Bold and the Beautiful have officially been drawn, and at the center of the storm stands Ridge Forrester, absolutely seething with fury after an explosive betrayal that no one at Forrester Creations saw coming. What should have been a triumphant moment for the legendary fashion dynasty suddenly turned into complete chaos when Bill Spencer and Katie Logan pushed forward the Hope for the Future launch, boldly moving ahead of Eric Forrester's highly anticipated couture debut. But that shocking move alone wasn't enough to send shockwaves through the fashion world. The true bombshell came when Shauna Fulton's jewelry line was suddenly unveiled alongside the massive blue Hope for the Future diamond, a dazzling centerpiece that instantly stole the spotlight and left Ridge, Brooke Logan, and the entire Forrester family standing frozen in disbelief. In one devastating moment, everything shifted, and the power dynamic in Los Angeles fashion suddenly felt dangerously unstable. Ever since that humiliating public upset, Ridge has been unraveling in ways that are becoming impossible to ignore. The normally confident and calculated designer has begun making what many would consider disastrous business decisions fueled less by strategy and more by wounded pride. In the immediate aftermath of Logan's shocking success, Ridge abruptly shelved the jewelry line entirely, halting what could have been a major opportunity for Forrester Creations. But he didn't stop there. In a move that stunned even those closest to him, Ridge also pushed Eric Forrester's couture launch indefinitely, delaying the event that was meant to celebrate the legacy of the company's patriarch. And now, as new spoilers for next week begin surfacing, one thing is becoming painfully clear. Ridge is no longer simply reacting. He is preparing to strike back, and his target is Bill Spencer. Meanwhile, over at Logan, the atmosphere couldn't be more different. Bill Spencer is riding higher than ever, basking in the glow of a wildly successful launch that exceeded even the boldest expectations. Orders are pouring in faster than anyone imagined. The fashion critics are singing praises for Hope for the Future, and Deacon Sharp's design work has unexpectedly become the talk of the industry. Shauna's jewelry collection has turned into an instant smash hit, and that enormous blue diamond has become the perfect centerpiece to keep everyone talking. From a business perspective, everything appears flawless. The only visible crack in Logan's sudden rise to dominance is Brooke, spiraling emotionally as rage overtakes her and frustration sends her smashing objects while trying to process the betrayal unfolding around her. But when the dust finally settles, it seems increasingly likely that Hope will remain firmly planted at Logan, and Brooke may reach her breaking point and walk away furious, leaving the Forresters desperately trying to figure out what comes next. And frankly, Ridge's recent decisions aren't helping matters at all. There's something deeply unsettling about watching one of the biggest and most powerful fashion houses in the world suddenly changing their entire business strategy because a startup company managed to land one successful launch. The fact that Katie's surprise event with Hope completely derailed Eric's couture debut feels less like a calculated response and more like pure panic. It sends a terrible message. It makes Ridge and Steffi Forrester appear weak, vulnerable, and uncertain. Exactly the kind of image powerful industry leaders can't afford to project. Even shelving Electra Forrester's jewelry line sends an equally damaging signal to the fashion world. By shutting down their own project immediately after Logan's successful jewelry reveal, Ridge and Steffi are practically admitting defeat without even fighting back. It looks as though they're openly acknowledging that Logan has somehow outperformed them, that their rivals' designs are superior, and that Forrester Creations is now playing defense instead of setting trends like they always have. In the brutal world of high fashion, perception is everything. And these kinds of reactions could make Ridge look incredibly weak in the eyes of fashion critics and the press. But Ridge isn't the type of man who accepts humiliation quietly. Official spoilers now confirm that Ridge takes matters into his own hands with Bill Spencer. And that can only mean one thing. Revenge is coming. It's easy to imagine how quickly Ridge's anger will escalate once Brooke finally returns from her emotional confrontation with Hope. After everything that has happened, Brooke is likely to come back devastated, shell-shocked, and emotionally shattered, collapsing into Ridge's arms while tears stream down her face. She'll pour out every ounce of her heartbreak, blaming Katie for stealing hope away from her, insisting this entire nightmare never would have happened without Katie orchestrating everything behind the scenes. And inevitably, Brooke's increasingly obsessive narrative will continue as she rants about Katie stealing the Logan name, stealing Eric's designs, and taking what she believes rightfully belongs to their family, despite the fact Bill and Katie legally paid for those designs. But reason won't matter now. Emotion will. And hearing Brooke's pain may push Ridge toward a dangerous decision, because now, Ridge may feel compelled to hit Bill harder than ever before. Not only did Bill and Katie deliver a devastating blow to Forrester Creations by blindsiding them with Hope's launch, but from Ridge's perspective, they've emotionally crushed Brooke in the process. Brooke now sees Bill and Katie as the true masterminds behind Hope's betrayal, convinced they manipulated Hope into turning against her family. In Brooke's eyes, Logan has somehow brainwashed Hope, twisting her loyalties and pulling her away from everything she once believed in. And as irrational as Brooke's accusations may sound, Ridge has always had a weakness when it comes to protecting the women he loves. Which means Bill Spencer may soon become the unfortunate outlet for all of Ridge's growing rage. The most obvious possibility is simple. Ridge storms straight over to Logan headquarters and confronts Bill face to face, much like Brooke recently did when she confronted Katie. Except, unlike Brooke's emotional outburst, Ridge's confrontation could quickly spiral into something far uglier. It isn't hard to picture Ridge absolutely exploding, accusing Bill of luring Hope away from Forrester and deliberately destroying Brooke emotionally. Tempers would ignite instantly. And given the long history of hatred between these two alpha personalities, it wouldn't take much before words turned into violence. This wouldn't even be new territory. Ridge and Bill have physically fought before, and after Brooke recently slapped Katie and physically attacked her again this week, the tension between both families has already escalated beyond control. The terrifying reality is that Ridge and Bill are both incredibly arrogant, stubborn, and explosive men who despise one another on a deeply personal level. If the women were willing to throw hands, there's every reason to believe these two men could take things even further. Ridge is furious beyond reason, and Bill may be the easiest target for him to unleash that fury upon. After all, Ridge can't exactly march over and attack Hope or Katie physically. But Bill? That's different. History reminds everyone exactly how dangerous Ridge can become when anger consumes him. After learning Bill had slept with Steffi in the past, Ridge once threw Bill off a balcony. So imagining Ridge heading straight toward Spencer Tower now, driven purely by vengeance, doesn't feel far-fetched at all. In fact, Bill may genuinely be in danger, but physical violence may not be Ridge's only option for revenge. Another possibility lies in something far colder: legal retaliation. Hope was still under contract with Forrester Creations when she signed her deal to work at Logan, and that technicality could open the door for Ridge to fight back through the courts. It's entirely possible Ridge could unleash Carter Walton, Forrester's trusted legal powerhouse, against Bill and Katie in an attempt to secure an injunction preventing Logan from fulfilling Hope for the Future sales orders. In a creative field like fashion, contracts often contain strict non-compete clauses and moonlighting restrictions, particularly when dealing with rival companies operating within the same space. Legally speaking, Hope may have exposed herself to serious consequences. That being said, The Bold and the Beautiful has never been known for diving too deeply into lengthy legal battles, making this route feel somewhat unlikely despite being entirely plausible in the real world. And even if Ridge pursued this option, it could still backfire spectacularly. Suing Bill and Katie over Hope's contract might make Forrester Creations appear weak yet again, giving the impression that Ridge cannot compete creatively and is instead relying on lawyers to win battles he lost on the runway. In many ways, that kind of desperation could hurt Forrester's reputation almost as badly as Logan's sudden success already has. Ridge would have to weigh whether revenge is truly worth risking further embarrassment. Another possibility is far more manipulative: destroying Logan publicly by attacking their credibility. Ridge already planted the seeds for this strategy when he openly criticized the poor construction quality of Logan's gowns during the launch event. There were already warning signs. Deacon Sharp had reportedly been told one of the model's dresses tore during preparations, and behind the scenes, Hope and Deacon had been rushing desperately to complete the designs in time. It's entirely possible Katie's team cut corners to beat Eric's couture launch, sacrificing quality in exchange for speed. And if Ridge can expose those flaws publicly, he could completely destroy Logan's momentum overnight. Imagine Ridge teaming up with Steffi for a calculated attack. One of them quietly reaches out to a trusted fashion influencer, someone with a major online following and serious credibility within the industry. That influencer purchases a Hope for the Future dress, then suddenly releases a scathing viral video claiming the expensive gown completely fell apart after minimal use. The accusations would be brutal: cheap construction, low-quality materials, knockoff designs rushed into production without proper care or craftsmanship. The narrative practically writes itself. Ridge could frame the entire scandal as proof that Katie and Hope prioritized profits over quality, while Forrester Creations continues delivering premium fashion standards. For Bill Spencer, a man obsessed with profit margins and financial success, that kind of public embarrassment could sting more than any physical fight ever could. And there's reason to believe this strategy might carry some truth behind it. Bill himself previously discussed keeping manufacturing costs under control while Deacon was making material and design decisions, meaning corners may genuinely have been cut somewhere during production. If Ridge can exploit that vulnerability, he could strike directly at Bill's greatest weakness, his reputation as a successful businessman. This wouldn't simply hurt Bill emotionally, it could damage the company financially and undermine everything Bill handed over to Katie in order to punish both Eric and Hope for launching at Logan. It would be ruthless, and Ridge has certainly been ruthless before. But perhaps the most intriguing revenge strategy involves something even more personal: recruitment warfare. Katie has already been pulling talent away from Forrester, so Ridge may decide to retaliate by stealing someone valuable from Logan. The obvious choice? Shauna Fulton. Out of everyone currently involved with Logan, Shauna may be the only person vulnerable enough for Ridge to manipulate. After all, history has shown repeatedly that Shauna has long carried a very dangerous crush on Ridge. Years ago, under Quinn Fuller's encouragement, Shauna famously got Ridge drunk during a trip to Las Vegas and tricked him into marrying her. Those feelings never fully disappeared. That history could suddenly become Ridge's greatest weapon. Imagine Ridge approaching Shauna with charm, subtle flirting, and carefully calculated promises designed specifically to exploit her lingering feelings for him. He could offer her something incredibly tempting: complete control over Forrester Creations' jewelry division, putting her in charge of the entire operation, while Elektra reports directly to her. It feels exactly like the kind of manipulative move Ridge would make if revenge became more important than morality. And truthfully, Elektra lacks the experience necessary to lead such an important division anyway. For Shauna, it might be impossible to resist. For Bill and Katie, losing her would be devastating. Then comes perhaps the most deliciously chaotic possibility of all: pure soap opera espionage. Ridge could decide the best way to destroy Logan isn't from the outside, but from within. Instead of direct confrontation, Ridge might secretly plant a spy inside Logan to feed him constant insider information, allowing Forrester Creations to quietly undermine Bill and Katie at every opportunity. And the perfect candidate may be none other than Zende Forrester. Ridge could send Zende over to Logan with a carefully rehearsed story, convincing Katie that after Hope for the Future left Forrester, the rest of the Forrester family pushed him aside and left him feeling unwanted. The beauty of this plan lies in its believability. Katie would almost certainly sympathize with Zende, believing he had genuinely been sidelined by his own family. Bill and Katie might even feel excited about hiring a legitimate Forrester to strengthen their growing company. But here's where the drama could become absolutely explosive. What if Zende initially agrees to spy for Ridge, only to discover he actually prefers working at Logan? What if he begins respecting Katie's leadership, enjoying the creative freedom, and ultimately decides to betray Ridge instead. Suddenly, the hunter becomes the hunted. Ridge's own plan backfires spectacularly, and the script flips entirely against him. Whatever happens next, one thing feels undeniable. The Bold and the Beautiful is turning the intensity up to dangerous new levels as July sweeps begin heating up. The rivalries are becoming uglier, the betrayals more personal, and the stakes feel higher than they've been in a long time. The show is leaning fully into chaos now, pushing every character toward emotional extremes that promise explosive confrontations in the days ahead. The brawls are coming, the revenge plots are forming, the family war is escalating faster than anyone can stop it. And as long as Ridge doesn't decide to throw Bill Spencer off another balcony at Spencer Tower, everyone might survive this war. Because if history repeats itself one more time, Bill may not be lucky enough to bounce back again.